The Eminence in Shadow is undoubtedly the most popular isekai anime in history. Since its debut, it has been keeping fans on their toes. However, after the epic cliffhanger, fans are wondering whether Sid and the Shadow Garden will return with The Eminence in Shadow Season 3. There's no denying that the second season's storyline was top-notch, as it focused closely on Sid's connection with Princess Rose. However, the threat is still looming. This time, things might be more dangerous than before. Can he fight back the evils and save the world? Keep reading to know more. Based on the Japanese light novel series, The Eminence in Shadow follows the life of the mastermind of the shadow technique. The anime is also known as Kage no Jitsuryokusha ni Naritakute. After an untimely demise, a boy named Minoru reincarnated as Sid in a fantastical realm. Since his aspiration to be Shadow Master, he uses his power to fight against evil by forming his clandestine organization, Shadow Garden. With time, Sid expands his Shadow Garden and later faces the deadly villains of time. The Eminence in Shadow Season 2 debuted back in October 2023 and took the world by storm, and there's no denying that. The anime introduced the fans to a world of fascination and not-before-seen action. While the series performed incredibly well, it remains unclear whether The Eminence in Shadow Season 3 will return. That's because neither the production committee nor the anime staff and crew members have commented on the third season. This has left many to wonder whether Season 2 of The Eminence in Shadow was the end of the series. That's because the second season received the green light just after the first season's finale aired. However, this isn't the case with The Eminence in Shadow Season 3. In fact, 9 months have passed and nothing is known about the series' fate. Despite fans eagerly calling for the third season, the production committee has decided to stay mum. Is this because of the series' reception? Well, that can't be possible. That's because the second season performed incredibly well on several platforms. On Amazon Prime Video, The Eminence in Shadow Season 2 received 4.8 stars out of 5. Meanwhile, it garnered 7.8 out of 10 stars on IMDb and 8.3 out of 10 stars on MyAnimeList. Thus, it's enough to suggest that the series is highly popular and did well on the reception front. While fans are waiting for the official renewal announcement of The Eminence in Shadow Season 3, the production committee dropped a bombshell. Shortly after the second season finale, the anime committee announced that the anime was getting a follow-up movie. It's titled The Eminence in Shadow Lost Echoes. While nothing has been known about the follow-up film, many believe that it might act as the bridge between Seasons 2 and 3. The Eminence in Shadow Lost Echoes movie officially announced. More https://t.com pictwitter.com non8zkvi. However, there's also a possibility that the third season, if you remember, Demon Slayer Season 2 opened in movie form, titled Demon Slayer Mugen Train. So, just like Demon Slayer, The Eminence in Shadow Season 3 will be opened with a feature film that might cover most of the elements of the source material. However, it's just speculation. On May 26, 2024, The Eminence in Shadow fans are treated with a brilliant surprise. At the weekend Season 2 event, the anime committee dropped the first look of The Eminence in Shadow Lost Echoes. It suggests that the brand new feature film will continue from the second season ending. It begins with a classroom in modern-day Japan, where a professor continues to take his lecture on mana and shadow. However, things turn dramatic when he starts hearing some voices. As the trailer unfolds, it shifts the narration to Sid fighting with the evils in what looks like a devastated Japan. While the professor can witness the scene, his expression suggests that he has already recalled Sid. Will it create more chaos down the road? As of now, it remains unclear how things will unfold in the Eminence in Shadow, Lost Echoes. But one thing is clear is that it will definitely reveal Sid's connection with modern-day Japan. As mentioned above, the anime hasn't been announced for the third season. Well, there are many animes whose production began before receiving an official renewal announcement. However, that's not the case with the Eminence in Shadow Season 3. The series hasn't yet undergone production. The studio house Nexus, behind the first two seasons, hasn't yet listed the third season for production. In fact, the original website does not provide an update regarding the third season. However, the official trailer of the Eminence in Shadow Lost Echoes suggests that the movie is currently under production. That means Nexus currently has its hands full. Since the studio house works on one anime project per year, it doesn't seem like it will return with the Eminence in Shadow Season 3, at least now. As for the feature film, it will be directed by Kazuya Nakanishi. Daisuke Aizawa will return as the scriptwriter, and Tozai will be the movie's illustrator. As for Nexus, the studio house will be back to animate the project. Nexus was founded in 2012 by former A1 Pictures producer Hiroshi Nakamura. The studio house has created several commercial hit anime projects so far. Some of them are Wakaba Girl, Comic Girls, Darwin's Game, and The Eminence in Shadow. Despite the scarcity of information about the third season, we expect the entire cast and crew members will return. However, the second season saw some characters' dark fate, so it remains unclear whether they will return. We can expect the main characters of the Shadow Garden to continue their journey even in the Eminence in Shadow Season 3. These include, as mentioned before, The Eminence in Shadow is an adaptation of the light novel series by Daisuke Aizawa and illustrated by Tozai. However, there's a catch. The anime isn't entirely based on the light novel. It has some elements of its manga adaptation. This means that the series doesn't stick to a one-to-one adaptation. It's roughly based on both source materials. As for the light novel, it started serializing in May 2018 on Shosetsuka ni Naro and has a total number of 6 volumes. Since its status is ongoing, there isn't a lack of source material. Meanwhile, the manga series has a total of 13 tankobon volumes and was started serializing in December 2018. Since the first season has covered volumes 1 to 3 of the LN series with a touch of manga, there are only 3 more volumes left to be covered. However, it's expected that the Eminence in Shadow Lost Echoes will cover Volume 4. So, since the anime adapts 2 volumes per season, there's a lack of source material. Considering this, the Eminence in Shadow Season 3 release date will take longer to return. Given that the follow-up movie will pick the pace from where the second season left off, it will focus on the epic battle to save the world. The movie will cover Volume 4, so fans can expect that the Eminence in Shadow Season 3 will adapt Volumes 5 and 6. The anime's third season will witness Rose's ascension as the rightful leader of the Oriana Kingdom. After being betrayed by her mother, Rose decides to follow in Sid's footsteps by continuing her camaraderie with the Shadow Garden. However, things won't be in Sid and Shadow Garden's favor. Despite their attempt to save the world, they will soon face a new set of challenges. That's because the Eminence in Shadow Season 3 might witness the downfall of the Kingdom of Midgar. This will create more challenges for Sid and his team. Now, it remains to be seen how Sid will deal with the looming threat as he embarks on a journey to save the world. It's hard to guess when the Eminence in Shadow Season 3 will be released. That's because the series has yet to be renewed. However, the second season aired just 6 months after the first season wrapped up airing. That made many to believe that the third season will follow the same timeline and might return in the fall of 2024. However, it won't happen. This is because the follow-up movie, The Eminence in Shadow: Lost Echoes, is set to air in the fall of 2024. This might push the Eminence in Shadow Season 3 release date. If that's the case, then we can expect the third season to return sometime in 2025. This is all for now. Stay tuned. The Anime Daily will keep you updated.